just need to hope that other people crash in front of me.
I believe we're live. Hello, everybody. I do apologise for the late start for this Grand Prix. It's round number 6 of the Project Car, not Project Cars. I'm in autopilot mode. F1 2017 League. Do apologise for not being about for the last 2 races, but I've been trying to get the computer together. So my apologies about that. But hopefully we'll have a good race here. We've chosen an easy one today. We decided to start on a very interesting Grand Prix that is normal, and for a second I thought we were going to 5 red lights straight away, but that's not the case. Last time obviously it was the first time we got all these new right hands, so now we've got it on our keyboard, which is flippin-tastic. So in case you didn't see the grid there just when we were going through, it's Enigma from Alex, from Milik, from Norman Nato, who is Aiden, from Ian, from ZTX, from El Sonny, who's a new driver in the league, and he's driving my favourite colour car. My favourite car in the grid, really. Looking car, anyway. Olek Beck in P8, Centilic in P9, V6 Gun in P10, Kip in P11, Heavy Throttle in P12, and Gifted Otter rounding off the back of the grid. Should be a good race, 13 people today. I'm sure we could have had a few more, but, you know, it's the way the world works. Norman, how are you feeling? After Norman. He's not biting. Alekbek, can you hear me? Hello? Anybody? Aiden. Okay, nobody can hear me. Love it. Centilic, can you hear me? Centilic?
Glenn, I could hear you there. You're talking in game.
Hello?
Am I talking in game, am I?
That one was. You're not now. You're not now.
No, really. Okay, we're on to 5 red lights here, and away we go for this Grand Prix. It's lights out and away we go. It looks like Enigma's had a poor start there. Alex to the outside. There's not much room if he squeezes him, but he gets the position easily done. Backwards through the midfield, we can see the cars lining up there. The 2 Ferraris going side by side near the back. Centilic hasn't made up any places. A few position swaps here and there. Looks like Aiden's had a poor start. Or Milik's had a great one, actually. I think he was 5th on the start, wasn't he? As Centilic there hits a wall, and it leaks the position there to V6. Or that we could get a cut back here now into the corner where you don't want to go for a move, but they're going to go side by side. There's a little bit of contact. He's pushed out wide, and it backs everybody up. Looks like Heavy Throttle was the big loser in that fight. Let's have a quick run back up through the grid. Let's see what's happening. Norman Nato or Aiden in P4. Not looking to be able to make an overtake anywhere soon. Milik in P3. And Enigma in P2. Alex leading the way in P1. But sometimes that could be a curse in the skies. We'll have to see how long he can hold that position down. He just needs to forget about Enigma in the rear and just keep driving his lines. It's very difficult to overtake around this track, as we all know. But it's very easy to make a mistake if somebody's pressurizing you. He sets the fastest lap of the race, as he would. This is the first lap of the Grand Prix. Now we can finally see the gaps between the cars. It's like the gap to the car in front, so we can actually see the group battle. Alekbek, that looks like an interesting fight. And it is. It's Alekbek on the back of ZTX. He's right on the back. He's got his super glue out. And he's there. See, now is he going to make a darting move into here? No. Again, it's just one of those. Where do you go for it? Heavy throttle on the back of Gifted Otto as well, might I add. He's looking alright to make a move. Elecbeck, the gaps sort of look like they go a bit funny around here, but that's fine. Elecbeck still right glued onto the back of that Sauber. And we've got Alex fans in the chat who are cheering him on as he's in P1 as he goes for a diving move. Elecbeck, it's a 3-second time penalty for Errol Sonny for multiple warnings. It's not the way he wanted to start his race. And Ian's had a bad start. I don't know quite what's happened to him, but he's last at the moment. And Enigma in behind, getting very sideways in comparison to Alex. Heavy Throttle's got a time penalty as well. That is unfortunate. Looks like these two are actually gapping Milik a little bit. Let's have a quick run through the field, because it looks like this battle between Zedtakes, Elecbeck and Sintilik is really heating up. As you can see here, they're very close up the hill. There you go. Not really a great overtaking spot, though, is the problem around this Monaco track. You've really got to be sure of a move. He could go for one in here if he's smart enough or brave enough, I would presume. And it looks like they're catching El Sonny as well. So a 4-man battle for P5 would be interesting. Let's have a quick look on Enigma as well. He's not quite close enough to make a move. This is going to be the only place you can really think about one. El Sonny's actually close to Aiden. Flurry's left the game, unfortunately. Let's have a look back down the field. No overtakes being made there. It looks like Aiden is losing a lot of time to Milik, who's lost quite a bit of time to Enigma, who is glued to the back of that Toro Rosso ahead of him. And now we'll be using the slipstream and the DRS to get as little advantage as he can. He looks to the inside, but the track curls away. Not enough straight for Enigma. Zedtakes is apparently 1 lap down. What's happened? I don't know. I think it was a glitch. That's what I'm going for. But you can see here... Oh! There's been a big crash. I think there's contact. Zedtakes gets half spun round. I think Elecbeck got onto the back of him there slightly. And Sintilik moves up ahead of him. And now Zedtakes is very flustered. It looks like he's lost a bit of his front wing. So is Sintilik, and Elecbeck gets back past Zedtakes. Very interesting there. We'll have to see on the feed and that and what happened after the race. But breaking down into the Novo chicane now. Coming out, Enigma. He needs to be quick through here, but it's so difficult when you're following a car behind. The dirty air through these few corners where it's fast. Very easy to run out a little bit wide, and the minute you run a little bit wide, you lose a wheel. And that is, of course, not what our drivers want here. We'll have a quick scan down the grid again. Elecbeck still glued to the back of Sintilik. He's got past one Sauber, but another Sauber behind. Alex Burbo actually extends his gap over Enigma there by a few tenths of a second, by the sounds of things. And Zedtakes goes into the pits, and Wiesgun moves up into P6, and Tillich into the pits as well. Oh, it's going to be a double stack from Sauber. They haven't planned that very well. Oh dear. But Elecbeck carries on in the Red Bull. Maybe not the correct thing. Aiden, by the way, is on super soft tyres, in case that has not been noticed, which it has now by me. So that's good. Let's have a look now at the battle for P1. It's Alex Burbo from Enigma. Second, not even between the two drivers. We're on the Novo chicane. And out again towards the fast final sector. The area where Enigma needs to be on the back of him. He'll probably try and stay behind until the pit stop phase. Enigma, very fast driver, very good on his tyres, but not known for making a great move. And oh, he runs a bit wide, loses a bit of his front wing. And that could be worrying for his race. Enigma obviously P2 in the championship. There's a huge gap though, about 40 points between him and Milik. So a few extra bonus points here will not go to waste, I'm sure. But Alex Burbo as well, not had the best start of the season. I don't know how his mid-race, his mid-few races have been. But he's definitely got the pace. consistency was lacking in the first few races, but by the looks of things, if you're in P1 in Monaco, as I've jinxed that quite a bit, and there's a lot of lag actually going on there, that is a bit crazy. It's not nice to see, but it's okay. Ian, the man nobody wants to notice, in P9, setting the fastest lap of the race, and is getting noticed on the super soft tyres. Very interesting. What does hide UA do? That does that. Alright, I can... Yeah, that's cool, whatever. Oh, I can remember, I forgot about this, I can change. As he looks to the inside, lap delta, no, it doesn't bother me. No, wait, he's gone again. Telemetry. Oh, telemetry fuel, we can see the fuel as well, what fuel mixture he's using. I'm surprised he hasn't gotten a lot less, to be honest. Position change, we can see that, we can see stops, we can see tyres. We'll go on to tyres, talking about tyres, Enigma into the pits. A V6 gun is retired, what happened to him? His car is ended. Whereabouts is that then on track? I really can't tell. Let's ride on board with Ian. Let's actually see where Enigma slots out into the field. It might be. He's gone onto the softs. Beck goes into the pits, so he'll come out ahead of Heavy Throttle in a lot of clean air, which is where he wants to be. And we still cannot find where V6 Gun's car is. It's somewhere in the final sector, but I cannot tell. And he's been warped back. Beck in the pits. I'm sure he'll be trying to get out in a bit of clean air. Let's see whereabouts Cintillic is. Which is obviously the man he was fighting before he comes out behind. But ahead of Kip, Z-Takes looks like he's made another mistake somewhere. He's a lot further behind. Oh no, they double stacked, didn't they, Sauber? I forgot. And that's a very early stop for Enigma. I know there was a wing to be changed, but even still. For Monaco, you always get a bit of wing. So that is interesting, it must be said. Let's have a look here at Norman Nato, who has actually pulled a little bit of a gap from El Sonny. V6 Gun has left the session as to be expected after that unfortunate incident. Milik now has got a bit of a gap between him and P3, and quite a large gap between him and P1 of Alex Burbo, but he's still in with a shout. Where is our closest fight at the moment? It's between Enigma and Heavy Throttle, but you got to think Enigma's going to pull away here soon. He's gone back into the pits. What's happened? His wing has not been changed. Oh, it's nightmares for Enigma. And the Haas team come out again, this time with a front wing ready. They staple it onto his car and they put the ultra soft tyres back on. He's praying for a safety car now. And Enigma hit by a bit of bad luck there. That is very unfortunate. It'll come out just ahead of the battle between Kip and Z-Tanks. Wow, they were getting a bit cheery on the throttle there, weren't they? Hopefully this fight will actually turn into something. We've got another fight actually a bit further up the grid. Let's go find that. It's between Ian and Heavy Throttle. We'll turn off this actually now. Heavy Throttle on the Ultras and Ian on the Supers, but he is very, very fast at the moment. See whereabouts he goes. Heavy Throttle getting a bad exit through there. Ian could get a bit of a slipstream here. He's going to go to the outside. Heavy Throttle lets him through. Smart move. Ian actually got a 3-second penalty on that as well. That's unfortunate. I presume that is for corner cutting somewhere. On multiple occasions. Ian into the pits for the second time this race. Unusual. I thought he'd try to go quite long into this race and strap on a set of ultra softs towards the end of the race and see from there. But for now, this battle is looking like the closest. Whereabouts is Ian going to head out in terms of this field? He's going to come out just find his teammate. What's happened there? Oh, we just caught the end of that. It's Kip running very sideways at the middle of the final sector, and Z-Tex says thank you very, very much and takes the position. Ian gets another penalty, which is unfortunate. He has come out a few seconds behind his teammate after being last after a lap one, I believe. That is a hurt for Enigma. A very big hurt. Now the car's going round and around. Not much to say at the moment, it must be said. It's looks like it's going to be a very Monaco Grand Prix here. The cars running by themselves. And if they do, it's going to be a long time before somebody can get past. So let's take a nice sip of relaxing beverage of water. And watch how the rest of this race unfolds. Alex staying very calm out in front. He needs to just do lap after lap. A very interesting camera angle here, it must be said. Very nice. I like it. I approve. So his aim now is just keep doing laps. Keep doing laps and see where he ends up. Enigma sets the fastest lap of the race. He'll see that and he might be a bit worried, but he'll probably know now that he's not on course. He's had to pit again or something, or an issue has arisen with the car. His car's going quite sideways there, which is a bit weird. So we'll know that now. He knows his main rival is going to be Milik, who isn't looking to be fast enough, which is not something you normally say about Milik, but he's smart. Milik, he knows he needs to finish this race. And Aiden in P3 is doing a good job. And then number 15 is doing a pretty solid job as well, it must be said. Helsonic in P4 in his first race here on PRL. Very solid job. Heavy Throttle a long way behind, actually. He's 19 seconds. That's what 19 seconds looks like around this Grand Prix circuit. And Gifted Otter is coming out of the pits, and okay, that was a bit of a weird thing. Did he lose a bit of front wing there? I don't know. But Scintillic's behind him in 3 seconds, and down the road, I'm pretty sure Heavy Throttle still has to pit, so I'm sure Scintillic will be moving up a little bit. I'm yawning like a trooper here, that's crazy. Lek Beck in P7 after his incident. Enigma in P8. I'm sure he'll be charging down Lek Beck and probably going for a move in the soon laps because he has got the pace to win this race, but unfortunately tyre wear so far and team play hasn't gone in his favour. Z-Take's talking about pits into the pits in P10 for a new front wing along with Kip, and they will be fighting for P10 for now. And Gifted Otter rounds out the back in his first league race here in PRL. Heavy Throttle getting a rather unfortunate thing there, it must be said, but we'll see. Again, we get this pretty cool angle. It looks a little bit weird, so let's not milk it. Cody's one lap is good. Let's have a look on Enigma. He's almost within a second now of Lek Beck. Gifted Otter gets a 3-second penalty as well. All the penalties. Enigma really wants to clear this as quickly as possible because he needs to get within the positioning to get this race going. So he does. Obviously a lot of flaps flying. A lot of flap flying indeed. He's right on the back now of Lek Beck. He's glued to him, as we say. Glued to him. Now, he's not close enough really here to make a move. He's going to have to think about sending one because he really does need the move as quickly as possible to be done. So we can get on with his race. It's Milik's teammate, so I doubt he'll let him by easily. Out now in the final corner, you can also see Ian just in the rear of the camera. I'm sure he'll be looking to make a few moves as well in the near future. Maybe go for a bit of a plan, push him out. 31 points, by the way, is the gap between Enigma and Milik, the first two in the season. And Alex Burbo is a very close 35 points behind our league leader in Milik. So in case you're wondering of the results of the last few races, Round number 4, which was Russia. Actually, we'll leave that till it's a little less exciting. As we can see, 3 guys in a train, and we'll look at the results. The results of previous rounds a little bit later on. So we will. But 3 guys charging over P number 7. Enigma's close. Very close. They're all very close. Holy smokes, they're pushing each other around that corner, which I can't remember. It's one of the famous ones, and I can't remember it. That is terrible. This is the church corner. I know that. And then we're up the hill now, up towards Casino Square. Not an overtaking spot, but you can set yourself up for the dive into the corner coming up where Rosberg ran wide. There is all corner names, and I would have learned all corner names, but oh, Enigma going a bit sideways and nut ruins his chance to go for a move into there. This is the Lowe's hairpin. So it is. Around that, now round Portier because of port. You see the men just standing there in their high-vis jackets, doing whatever they need to do. Breaking now into the Nouveau chicane, and Enigma lets his teammate past. Wow. Team orders in the Haas camp. It's leaked them a lot of time, though, it must be said. Ian's not shy of a move. He's smart about it, but he's not shy of a move, and that might give him a little bit of an inkling. If Lightbeck wants to go that wide round the corners. El Somni into the pits as well from P6. Whereabouts was he? Actually, he exits right in front of this trio. If they had been a bit faster, that would have been very, very interesting. We'll have to see. Maybe he'll make a little bit of a mistake. Seeing cars behind him, not very experienced, but I'm sure he'll be fine about it, to be fair. There's a car just up the road as well, heavy throttle only a second. This is where the race is at today. Oh, Ian, very close to the rear end of that Red Bull. If he gets a good exit here, he could have a chance. The old dive bomb into the Nouveau chicane. It's a popular place, but he looks a bit too far back. They're not getting the exits off there that they want. You can see, doesn't go for the move, smart about it. And the Force India isn't getting too far away. Elecbeck might be using it as a bit of a tow, which might be a bit of a nuisance to that Haas F1 car just sat behind. And I'm sure he will be counting to get past this car as who's that heavy throttle has pitted from in front of this train of 4, which is actually probably good because he might be the bottleneck. Oh well, possibly glad even as he might have been the bottleneck. That would have really made this quartet very interesting. You gotta think as well, Enigma could be the fastest guy in this here lot, but is last out of the 3. It means, obviously, I can understand maybe he thought that Ian has a bit more tyre life in him, maybe he's got a bit of front damage, but Enigma, I've seen, qualifying around this track is very important, obviously. And he had the qualifying pace, so I see why he doesn't have the race. I don't see why he doesn't have the race pace. But obviously the overtaking and race pace are completely different. I can understand that. That view does not give us a good indication of how close he is, and he's not close enough, I'll tell you that much. Let's have a look over at Elecbeck, sorry, who is close to El Sonny, but not close enough for a move, I don't think, yet. Centelic as well, he's been a bit of a ninja, he's up into 4th. Alex Burbo is pit, by the way, in case you're interested, but you're probably not, as 2 cars are going side by side into Ratkas. That's not the commonplace. It's El Sonny on the inside, he's defending his place like he's been league racing for years. And now they go 3 wide, this is going to be crazy into the first corner. Let's see how it's going to end up. El Sonny pushes to the outside, he leaves no room, and it's all fair and clean. El Sonny holds P5, Elecbeck in P6, Ian stays P7. And Ian goes for a move into that corner, a great place, it must be said, but he goes for it anyway. Almost a position gained there. Now the cars sort of separate themselves a little bit. As you can see here from the back here, on board with Enigma. The sort of scale he actually runs a bit wide there of what he's looking at. And just the scariness of this Monaco track for when you're driving. Oh, and that's what happens when it's scary. Oh, no, it's the commentator curse for Enigma. I'm so sorry, my man. But talking about commentator curse, this is not... Oh, it is! Oh, El Sonny goes deep into the corner. Into Raskas, outbraking himself and losing the position. Not one, not two, but 3 places. Down from 5th to 8th. How unfortunate. How unfortunate. It's going to be a bit of a kick in the teeth, that one. He was looking really good to go. We can ride on board with Ian as he goes down through. The middle sector taps the back of Aleckbeck. I'm sure Aleckbeck will not mind. Let's go back to the... let's not go back to the thingy. Now let's go back to the thingy, to the broadcast cam. Let's hide this for a bit. Why not? Let's get the this battle in all its glorious glory. Breaking down now to the Nova chicane. Ian has to find a way past and has to find it soon. This is a lovely angle here. Wow. Oh, that's beautiful. That is beautiful. Now down the main straight. Even there is no back straight really, apart from the tunnel, if you want to call that a straight, but it's not really, is it? But anyway, no side-by-side action because it's too short. Up the hill towards the casino square. Let's give our thingy a quick little look. Kib gets a penalty. That's unfortunate. Alex Burbo is on the back of Aiden. Or Norman Natto. As Sintelic there in the background. Goes very deep. Burbo, he just needs to bide his time here. Norman Natto does not need to fight this position and does not let Alex through fairly easily. Surprised he didn't fight that. I thought he would have. But, oh well. Aleckbeck's actually pulled out a little bit of a gap on Ian, who's pulled out a little bit of a gap on Enigma. Enigma looks like he's driving very safe at the moment, which could be good, could not be good for him. It's just one of those things, isn't it? So Alex Burbo is sitting very comfortably at the moment. He's got the gap. He's got past Norman Netto and is just behind Milik, but by 10 seconds. Ian goes into the pit, so he does. So Enigma now profits by that and goes up into 6th, so he can now charge. But he has lost a lot of time to Aleckbeck, who is not what you think. So once Milik pits, he will be quite a ways behind Alex. So it's going to be difficult for him to gain that all back. So it is. But we will have to see how this race pans out. Ian pitting on lap number 20. Now we can have a little bit of a breath so we can re-drink some more water and press on. Milik's into the pits, by the way. Let's see whereabouts he's going to feed out. It will be yeah, easily in front of Sintelic. About 10 seconds behind Alex Burbo, which is good for Alex Burbo, it must be said. Very good for him. Let's give our race leader a little bit of a watch while we have a look at the championship. Update you on what happened in round 4. It was I've said update you in round 4, and I haven't realised I haven't got the picture up yet. It was in qualifying, Enigma, Milik, Alex, Burbo were the top 3. In the Inters, actually, would be quite interesting to say. And the race was Milik, Enigma, Alex Burbo, DNTX Rage, Scintillic, Z-Takes, V6 Gun, Kip, Will, Heavy, Throttle, Sodge, Backy, Aiden, Ian, Wombeto. And then obviously your round 5 was Alex Burbo, DNTX Rage, Ian on the top 3. And the race was Enigma, Alex Burbo, Milik, Scintillic, DNTX Rage, Z-Takes, V6 Gun, Olekbek, Ian, Wombeto, Kip was the finishers. Then round 6 is this race, so there you go. See, has anything interesting happened? I don't think so, so I'm going to run to the bathroom. So, if anything interesting happens, we'll commentate on it. We'll comment on it afterwards. I shall be back very shortly. Hello, I have returned, and it looks like Norman Nato is in the pits. He drops down to P5 behind a Lekbeck, but in front of Enigma. Wow, good racing there by Aiden. Good racing indeed. Wow, man, what is wrong with me today? Oh dear. So it looks like the battle to follow. And again, it's involving a Lekbeck, and he's ahead. Some more defensive work to be done. By the man of many nations. Austria the flag, he runs down that, and I can't remember the nation he's actually from, which is horrendous, I know, but suck it up. So this is the battle for P number 4. Or higher, no. Number 4, but with a lapped car in front. Making things very interesting. Aiden actually doesn't get DRS though, which is surprising. He's going to be under threat from Enigma. It's not really what he expected, I'm sure. Going into the Rascas complex. Man, I'm yawning like a trooper. What is wrong with me today, man? So sorry about this, people. As Ian sets the fastest lap of the race from down in P8. See, it's very tight around this track, isn't it? It's very difficult. There's a big lock up there, comes from a Lekbeck. This could be all the sniff Nato needs. He's right up behind. Very, very nice and cozy to the inside into the Novo chicane. And makes the move. Not sure there's a little bit of fishing. Actually, a Lekbeck cuts the corner and gets a penalty on that one. Not the other way round as we were expecting, but a great move there by Aiden. Gets a great run off the Portier corner. And runs down into the Novo chicane. Scares him off wide and gets the position. And now he's losing a little bit of time. Let's see. Is Enigma going to capitalise on that? No, he's not quite close enough. Oh, he's gone into the wall! Oh, Enigma! into the wall at La Chapeau. Oh, I don't know what the corner's name's called. It's the Assumption Chapel. Oh no, how unfortunate is that for Enigma? Big lock up and it's into the barrier for him. Where Roman Grosjean and Max Verstappen collided in 2015 on the final lap, if you don't remember. Oh no, what a shame was that. Enigma's race has not been great today. It has to be said, he has been struggling. Now these two very close, El Sonny makes a mistake actually there. And Ian goes past, up into P7. He's into the pits. Enigma, to get another front wing. Oh, what a shame. So Ian moves up into P6 now, to be the lead Haas F1 car. So I wonder, looking at the standings and records, let's have a see who is leading the Constructors' Championship at this early stage. Round number 6 of the championship. It's Red Bull from Haas, which is fairly the way I was expecting it. This will be a good race here for Red Bull. Actually, they'll extend their lead. It's a bit short at the moment, it must be said. Only 7 points. It's 50 back to Sauber and then 63 to P4, who is Toro Rosso.
Glenn, some useful information. Jeff has just told Norman Nato that he might have a puncture because the tyre pressure sensors are reading 0.
That's probably not good.
I know, and I'm very scared.
That's not good for the Nats.
Nats is that scared the whole race he's running lean and he's got 7 laps extra fuel.
Jesus. Whoopsies.
Some could say I'm just good on fuel.
Nat, you tell a lie. 5.78 is the reading. So not 7.
Oh no!
Oh.
I'm running in standard now.
I see. Well, if you've got any more information, it was a nice move on Alec, it must be said.
Thanks very much.
Any more information, let me know.
Will do.
It's Norman Nato on the old push.
That's the only thing I'd like to know.
What, sorry?
How far is Sintillic up the road?
8 seconds.
Shit.
He did just get a 3-second penalty though, so
I've got one. Oh, I've just set the fastest lap in the race.
nice. He hasn't, but we'll give him the credit for it. Shh, don't tell anybody. Okay, back in the box. Let's see what's happening today. Ian into another stop. Oh no. So Enigma's up into P6 now. Enigma's up into P7 and El Sonny up into P6. Unless was there an incident that I didn't see? I don't know. In case you're wondering who has the most pulls, it's Enigma with 2. Fastest laps, we don't have the data for round 3 and 4 for some reason, which I shall try and update soon. Find out why. And yeah, then hopefully we'll have the data for that as well, which will be nice, so we can see who is doing the best in those respects. 10 laps to go in this Grand Prix de Monte Carlo. Be a lovely place to go to Monte Carlo. Although you'd want to go on an F1 weekend, wouldn't you, surely? Actually, there's a... Oh, he was in the pits, never mind. I was going to say there's a close battle here while I'm blippering away. But that means that Enigma's up into P6 and El Sonny's down to P7. Will Z-Takes get him? I actually. Can the Z do it? Oh, I don't know. I don't think so. Not if he lets it. What are you doing, Z-Takes? Oh no, what have you done? But they get it actually. Oh no, Z-Takes, you idiot! What have you done? Oh, Z-Takes, that wasn't very dreamy. That was not what I wanted to do. What were you thinking there, lad? What were you thinking there? So he let Ian past, not realising there was a guy in the pits, and comes out behind the guy out of the pits. Oh, how gutting. How gutting. Nato, it must be said, is closing on Sintilic. He must be worried. Let's have a word with him. Sintilic, Nato is catching you. Oh, I said that globally. Whoops. Find out what my global hit button is, and it's the exact same button to whisper to Sintilic. Whoopsies. Whoopsies indeed. Alex Berber looking good on fuel. Milik looking good on fuel. Sintilic looking very good on fuel. Aiden, Nato even looking tremendously good on fuel. Like not looking great on fuel. Looking good on fuel. Fuel. Yeah, everybody looks fine. So that's not to worry to anybody. Who was side by side there, by the way? I've seen somebody very close. Oh, it must have been a lapped car. That's unfortunate. Assuming there's two cars going there very close. Who's that? Is that Milik? No. Who's that Red Bull? Not Oleg Beck, it must be Milik then. It is Milik. Milik's defending from P6. Ha! I love it! He's going for the move! Oh, I can respect this! Ian! We're on the outside of P2! That's really thrown him off, you can tell. It looks like the... What's his name's come out? Virtual safety car's out! What's happened there then? Somebody lost a bit of cone? Anybody being coned? Not that I know of, it must be said. El Mato, have you got any information on why the virtual safety car has been revealed? Kip. Ah, okay. Kip has retired from the race, which means everybody currently will be scoring points. Let's see whereabouts. It doesn't say, but apparently the first corner. That's unfortunate. And they're racing once again, just like that. A click of a finger and they go. Somebody said hi to me. And it was a like back. Hello? And now El Sonnery comes on to Milik, who's in P1. Alex Burbo's pitted. The Burbs has pitted. Why is Burbs pitted? He goes onto the ultra soft tyres though, but there's no gain. I don't understand why he's done that. Sector 2. There's a yellow flag. Why? What for? What's happened? What is this race turning into?
Can you hear me? I can tell you.
I can hear you, yeah, Lekbeck. Can you hear me? I've got no idea. Right, we're continuing on with this race because interesting stuff is about to happen. Alex Berber's got past the lap car. Well, I was trying to figure out what your man was saying. Norman Nato is well close to Centilic. It's all kicking off at once. Well, Alex Bobo had about a 10-second lead and pitted for the ultra soft tyres. Now he's behind Milik round Monaco. Now, Alex Burbo, this isn't... Oh, right, okay. Alex Burbo, it's not the smartest of moves, it must be said. It's not the move I would have made, because now you've got to pass somebody around the streets of Monaco. And somebody who is very well known at defending, and defending hard, in Milik. Also, Norman Nato on the back of Centilic. It's all kicking off at once. Into the braking zone, not today, he says. Let's see Norman Nato's attempt. Sector 3 and Sector 2 yellow flag. Sector 3 now, just the yellow flags are out. And no move there. Alex Burbo for P1. It's the position we all want to see. The battle for, really, isn't it? Let's be honest. P3 is also interesting, but... And he goes for it into Raskas! There's no room there! Oh my! And they've had contact! Big contact there! How did that happen? I thought he lost the back end there, did Burbo. Ian pits again, down now into P10. Alex Burbo up the inside into the first corner and makes the move stick. But he's still got Milik behind him. And oh, he pushes Milik off! I don't know if he's pushing off or just a bit of defending there. And Milik had to avoid it. But Milik hits the wall. And they go side by side. Milik to the outside. Alex Burbo to the inside. It's push to shove. And he gets the position back. Z takes as well on the back of P7. And looks like there's a bit of a train going on there. I wish I could see that, but that at the moment is not the race I really want to be watching. This is the race I want to be watching, and it looks like there's a gap actually to that race. Let's have a look at the other race that's happening as we speak, really. Round now. And down. No move to be made there, so let's have a quick switch over. There's no gap there. El Sonne. Z takes. And Heavy Throttle is actually just behind the front two, which is actually really bizarre. And Alex Burbo's lost a bit of his front wing. That is bad news. Why oh why did he pit? It just doesn't make any sense. He's risked his race. An easy win it could have been. He had 10 seconds a gap. And Norman Nato gets another penalty. I hate to say it, but I think Alex has thrown this race away when the virtual safety car came out. You don't want to be stuck behind a car around Monaco. Definitely not when a win's in sight. And it looks like he made the move stick as well. I don't understand how he lost it again. It will have to be one that will be reviewed after, I think. I want to know what's happened. We'll have an ask after the Grand Prix to find out for you. But, ladies and gentlemen, that is not what I expected. That is not what I expected from this Grand Prix. A very nice heli cam here of Norman Nato in the Mercedes car. But yeah, that was not what I expected to happen. It looks like he's gaining slightly back again, but he's lost so much time because he's tapped the rear end of him. Not a wise move, it must be said. It's like, need to flick, 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 flick. Towards number Nato. Where is he? There. Going down the back straight around the casino square. Now he's juggled him about here. It could be a move appearing. The gap's not there, but he goes for it anyway. Makes a move stick, pushes him out wide, gets the position. Great move by Nato to get himself into P3. And runs wide there and almost gives it away straight away, but doesn't. Those soft tyres on Syntilic are going to be very hard for him to get back onto the podium places. Once he defends this, really it should be easy as you like now to the cruise to the finish line. The two people who won't be cruising to the finish line is Milik and Alex Burbo. So interesting what we think there. Bit of inexperience maybe from Alex Burbo there. That was not the right move to make. Did he try going while the virtual safety car was under or what? Or thinking he'd have a free pit stop? What a spanner among the works. And this result here, it stays this way, which I will not count the blessings too early. It means Milik will move out over the 40-point gap in Alex Burbo in P2. 41 points behind him. Milik's got a 3-second penalty. How many penalties has Burbo got? That's the new thing to look at. Race director. Burbo's got 1, 2. He's got 2. Milik has got 1. Oh, he's just got another one. Has he just got another one? No, it was just on this lap, right? That's no worries. I don't know why he's put this at risk. He doesn't have the penalty advantage. Obviously, he's not really to know that, is he? I guess. He's thrown this race away. Within clutching distance for Alex, and makes what has to be said a mistake on the strategy. I'm trying to re-overtake. They've had contact. Obviously, it's not easy to overtake. I think he went for it a bit too fast, maybe. Maybe knowing he had to get the gap between the penalties, but that has not worked. But enough doom and gloom here for this race. Around the final corner comes Milik in the Red Bull to win the Monaco Grand Prix from Alex Burbo in P2. From Nato as he comes now down across the line in P3. From Syntilic in P4. Well, Lekbeck a long way behind, but he's got the gap. P7 is El Sonny, P8 is ZTX, P9 is Heavy Throttle, and P10 is Ian. So there's only 2 drivers now we're waiting on, and that's Lekbeck to finish P5 and Enigma to finish P6. As Lekbeck finishes the line, the P5, a good race for him. A bit of a dodger on Enigma, must be said. On another day, I think he could have won this race. An unlucky one for him. And comes across the line in P6.
Oh, I thought you were so messed up. I missed out on the sub on the podium, mate. I had to go on soft for the rest of the race.
But an interesting race here today.
Yeah, no worries, mate.
And
With P4 anyways, like.
we'll soon get our podium celebration here. It's Milik on the top step of the podium. A good race for him and the Red Bull team. He lifts the Montaguese trophy. And tries to kiss it, but he's quite far away. It was a good effort. I just love the flags. It just makes it all better. Christian Horner seems happy with that result, and so does Alex Burbo. I mean, not Alex Burbo, Milik, sorry. But yeah, there's your race results. Just well, not as many penalties. Well, a lot of penalties. I must say that's pretty interesting. But more people finished than I was expecting, which is always good. Which is always good to finish on more people than we started, than when we expected even. Driver of the day wise, Centillix from P9. That's a very good effort. But you've got to say, really, yeah, you know what? I'll go with Centillix. He played a bit of a quiet race, pitted early onto the softs, and continued to go. And I believe there is no break week next week, which is always good, because a break week sucks. And it will be Canada for next round, which will be very interesting indeed. Another tighter circuit, but a lot more straights and places to overtake, so I'm sure they'll be able to find a little bit more easier. So thank you very much, and we shall see you next week.